I had people tell me to go kill myself and that I was a freak. I had people tell me that I didn't belong anywhere. They would throw food at me. They'd just throw things at me. I don't remember a time where I haven't been bullied since I was in elementary school all the way up through high school. This is my senior year. A lot of it was because I moved around a lot, so I was the new kid. But then a lot of it was also because I like to read. So I think they target the weak kids, or who they perceive to be weak.
Bullying has become the catch-all phrase for any kind of mean thing or nasty thing that anybody does. There's really three key factors in bullying. The first is power and control, who has the most power, because it's always an imbalance of power. The second is that there's repeated over time. And the other piece is that there has to be intent to harm.
What is bullying?
Don't use the word bully.
Use someone acting aggressively.
Bullying is a behavior.
Someone acting aggressively.
The aggressor.
Targeting one person several times.
More than one time.
On purpose. Physically or verbally hurting somebody on purpose.
I just think people should really examine themselves before they start to pick on other people. Take a look at what your reasoning is behind this. I mean, there really is no excuse. It doesn't matter what's going on at home for you, the bully. It doesn't matter that you've been through something. It's not okay to go out there and victimize other people because you're hurt in some way. It's not okay. It will never be okay to bully someone.
It can hurt.
Bullying can hurt.
Hurt. Badly.
Badly.
I was targeted in middle school.
I've been called like gay and stuff.
I was targeted because of my weight.
I was smaller than them.
My hair's too white, or I'm albino.
Because of my height.
It made me feel horrible.
It made me feel scared.
It didn't really make me feel like a person at all.
I didn't want to go anywhere. I wanted to stay home.
What just happened like a minute ago?
It was these group of kids. I never knew any of their names.
It's a very large group against me.
We try to push and pull and we strive to move.
I hid in the bathroom crying because everybody was teasing me.
I didn't want to go to school. I felt like school every day was just constant abuse on me. I didn't feel like school mattered anymore.
Then we walk away and forget the shame that this anthem means that we are all united underneath this banner of humanity. It's not you and me, it's just us.
Most of us
are
bystanders.
A bystander is everyone who sees it.
And most of us are bystanders.
Bystanders.
Only 15% of us are targets.
Targets or are acting aggressively.
85%.
85% of us are
bystanders.
Never could imagine what one person could do. Yes, we are.
The kids who saw this didn't do anything. They were just standing there.
My friends would laugh.
People could have said something, stood up for me.
They kind of just ignored me. Sometimes they would watch.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Freak Show, starring me, Jordan Jonas.
I was always very theatrical, dramatic kid.
Never mind, that didn't work. Okay.
I wanted to be an entertainer, and I wanted to be kind of a dramatic person.
And then you're going to fold it up, and I'll turn my back.
We raised our child to be unique, and if he wanted to experience different styles, that was fine, as long as he treated others with respect.
I had never been picked on before. You know, I kind of went into high school because that's when I kind of started doing my hair a little bit different. I started wearing different kinds of clothes. And that's when things started to get really bad to where I couldn't handle it. Just being called, you know, faggot every day. I couldn't make it through a day without being called that, or cross-dresser, or a tranny, or, I mean, it was just getting really obnoxious.
I do believe that gay, lesbian, and bisexual kids are bullied in school, but I often believe that it's a case of being bullied for what we would call gender variance, rather than for their actual sexuality. Unless you see somebody holding hands or kissing or making out with somebody of the same gender, you really don't know what their sexuality is. I think it's assumed or perceived sexuality, and I think it's really based on gender expression. So it's the fact that the person has some type of a gender expression that is considered to be non-normative, you know, whatever that means, that's actually causing them to be the target for violence or for bullying. So really what we were talking about are kids who somehow distinguish themselves as having a gender expression that was not acceptable to the people around them.
He was always saying that he wasn't feeling very well in the morning. It was hard for us to get him to school, to where we didn't have problems before because he liked going to school.
When they did it, there wasn't anybody around. Every time that they chose to do it, there was no one in the room. I felt like an outcast, and it was just a very lonely, empty feeling.
Since he is a diabetic, the first incident was he was sitting outside at a lunch table, and he had his lunch ready to go. He'd already given him his insulin shot, so you have to have your food within 15 minutes of that shot. Well, a group of guys came.
Looks like a good piece of pizza, man.
And one of them took his pizza away and started passing it around to others.
Sweet, man.
So he wasn't able to eat his lunch. A few months later, we come to find out that my son had gotten attacked in the bathroom. He goes into the bathroom before lunch or whenever to check his blood sugar.
I was in there by myself, and I finished and turned around, and there's a group of 5 guys, and they started calling me the same old names they usually do. They grabbed me by the back of my head, and they started slamming my head into the nearest wall again and again and again. They paused for a minute, and I took that chance, and I came across and hit one of the guys in the ear, and it made him bleed a little bit, and then they ran off. I ended up telling my girlfriend at the time. About a month later, after it happened, I just couldn't put up the facade anymore.
I knew there was something going on. Jordan is a very outgoing personality. He was starting to be withdrawn and quiet. Of course, you would think that was a warning sign, but we didn't realize what it was. We thought with his diabetes, he was just, he was actually sick. What he was doing was making himself sick.
When that started happening, that's when I decided to stop taking care of my diabetes. I decided to stop taking shots, stop taking care of myself. And then later on in December, that ended me up in the emergency room and in ICU.
We still don't know who these people are. He's never revealed the names. That child was so afraid of leaving our house. That's how afraid he was. He had changed so much. I mean, this kid, he performs on stage, and he wasn't doing this anymore. It made me feel helpless, and I didn't know what to do and how to handle it, because of course you want to protect your child, but then while you're doing that, you're afraid that what the consequences are if you do go report it again to the school officials and what they're going to do. Well, we pulled him out of school, and we told the school that we were moving to San Francisco because that's how afraid Jordan was. And so we said that we were leaving the state of New Mexico. We were that afraid. No kid should fear leaving their house. He was afraid to leave his home.
Bullying is harmful because it raises anxiety amongst young people. Depression, moderate to severe depression. Skipping school because they're afraid to go to school, they feel uncomfortable, or they feel like there's some kind of ramification. And just that overall sense of not feeling safe. And those things lead to, when we get to that threshold, harm against ourselves or sometimes harm against others. And all of us have that place. We just can't take it anymore. And we need support before we get to that place, because when we reach that threshold, it will be one of those two things.
It continued on through the rest of 6th grade. I remember I broke down crying inside my mother's bedroom, and I was threatening to commit suicide unless she pulled me out of the school.
Even if it never gets to the place of even having a suicidal thought or thinking about harming others, living with that kind of anxiety and depression at a very young age starts to develop patterns for how you feel like you're not capable of handling things in the future.
I'm still afraid to go out into the neighborhood, to my park, because there's still people around.
I don't feel safe when I walk home. I find different routes. Sometimes I'll go out of my way just so I can get home without getting mugged.
I was diagnosed with PTSD for emotional trauma. I've overdosed on medication because I never feel good enough. And a lot of that has to do with growing up just being put down so much. I've participated in a lot of self-destructive habits, and I have a very bitter view of the world still to this day, because I don't understand how people can do this to each other, but we do, and it's horrible, and even remembering it right now is hard.
I was very open about my sexuality because I am bisexual, and a lot of people at my school did not accept that at all. And a lot of people would just put me down and say a lot of very offensive things to me.
Bullying happens because of fear. Aggressive behavior happens because of fear. People are targeted because they're perceived to be weaker. So how do we really build our community to be seen as equal? So once we're seen as equal and we're part of our society and we're seen as normal participants, and we're taxpayers, we're teachers, we're students, we're young and upcoming leaders. So once we're accepted, perhaps we'll balance out this dynamic in our society and we won't see such aggressive behavior towards the LGBTQ community.
Bullying is when an individual targets another individual because they are different or they don't fit in.
It's a blessing to be different. It's beautiful to be different. New Mexico is different than the entire country. We are unique, and that's what makes us special. So why don't we embrace our differences and realize that it makes us a richer community?
When I was a bully, I felt like I wanted to impress my friends or those who I thought were at a higher popularity than me. So I felt like I wanted to make them laugh or something. It made me feel socially powerful.
The bully or the aggressor does not see the other person and what they're doing is going to mean to that other person. They don't have a sense of feeling of empathy or any compassion for this will humiliate that person, or this will make that person on a daily basis when I do this feel threatened. So they're going for the humiliation, but they're not having any empathy for what that will really mean to them.
I felt like I needed to be accepted by my friends a lot, and I picked on one girl a lot, and my friends would laugh. It would make me feel kind of good about, like, I felt like I was in control.
I think it was just insecurity about myself. I was never really the biggest kid, so I would always find someone smaller and try and make myself feel a bit bigger than them.
I think what drives them is a sense of inadequacy and their own low self-esteem, and somehow that does build their self-esteem, makes them feel more powerful, or in some cases makes them feel like they fit in with other kids that are doing the same thing.
I saw that it was an opportunity to become popular, and it helped. It helped a lot. I had a lot more friends, but at the same time, it was hard because I had empathy for them. I know how they felt. I've been through the same scenario. but for some reason I still felt bad for what I did.
I think empathy has changed over the last decade or more, and in fact a recent University of Michigan study cited that youth today demonstrate a 40% less capacity for empathy than their counterparts did 20 to 30 years ago. It has everything to do with social connection and relatedness, and children today get a lot less relational experiences than they did 10, 20 years ago or more.
Who knows what a bystander is?
Most of our students, from when they were small, what they have been watching has been a lot of violence, and the other part of it is comedy. It is so hard to find something that's comedy that is not about demeaning somebody else.
Stuff your talentless faces.
And so from when they've been young, they're used to watching things that they laugh at somebody else. And so when I go in and I ask students, why is there so much bullying? They always tell me, well, because it's funny to watch.
People who were around watching just laughed along.
The other thing we know is that bullying, often the roles change.
Often what we see is that kids who've been bullied then in turn become bullies themselves.
And so they're not set labels, they're just behaviors, and they move back and forth with fluidity.
I've been on both ends of the spectrum, being bullied verbally, physically, and I've been bullying somebody because I was bullied. People who are bullied become bullies. It keeps on going on in the cycle.
We're going to bring Zach up. Zach's coming up, everybody. Welcome, Zach.
We have to show up with the beatbox and the speakers to get it across to you to remember what he said about don't bully people online. And he was beatboxing, and there was a song.
Why do people cyberbully? It's anonymous. It's easy to do, and no one has to know who you are. Cyberbullying is online. Who's got a cell phone? Let me see hands. Cyberbullying is cell phone to cell phone. So it's not face-to-face. Teenagers hiding behind their cell phones, and they're shooting off a quick text, but the recipient of the text is looking at their screens horrified that someone could actually say something so degrading to them.
No, all of my friends on Facebook saw it, all of my family members, all of the people that are friends with me that are in universities saw it. I was pretty ashamed.
We're in the trouble, but the problem is that we are causing all the trouble, so.
How many has their Facebook page?
If I tell someone that I hate them and I think they're fat to their face, I have to deal with how they look and what their emotional reaction is. But if I put that up on Facebook or I've set up a whole group saying something about that, I don't have to deal with any of it. So it becomes very easy to do mean things, even when maybe normally that's not something you would do.
If it's brought to my attention, if a parent comes to me with a concern, something was posted on Facebook or Twitter or any of those social media formats, once it gets brought to our attention, then it becomes a school matter because it is disrupting the learning process.
We haven't caught up with how we set up our expectations for young people around technology, how we communicate. We talk about etiquette in our human interactions, but we don't talk that much about etiquette and how you deal in social media and technology settings. And so, for the most part, we're letting our young people in these environments with absolutely no guidance.
Don't just trust your kid to their phone and their text and their Facebooks. We've had a lot of parents also come in and say, hey, I was looking through my kid's Facebook and I saw some things that bothered me that he said was going on at school. You want to look at it? Sure. And we do.
Parents need to be educated in that. They need to be able to follow their kids and see what they're doing. I've taken pictures with my cell phone of tweets that I've found from other kids' cell phones so that I can keep it and show it to parents.
Once information leaves your device, whatever electronic device that is, it is out there forever. You can hit delete. Well, it's already out there. It's already gone. So if you type out a hateful, mean message to someone else and you send it, and you say, oh, I'm online, I really don't want that on my Facebook page, delete, it's already gone. It's already jumped through all your friends' news feeds.
I would have never put it online the way he did. It totally put me to shame.
The tricky piece around cyberbullying, though, is that you could post something one time, and it has an impact of repeatedness. So that's where our young people oftentimes, they think, well, I just did this one thing one time. But if 500 people see it, it's repeated over time. And so it can immediately up the ante on how big of a deal it is. And sometimes you don't even know who it is. So the anonymity that comes with the cyber world creates a whole nother level of kind of paranoia and fear. If I don't know who it is, then suddenly everyone becomes suspect.
That's why the districts across the country are coming up with policies so that we have the ability to address the situation 24/7 instead of just during the course of the school day. Because I think the extreme type of bullying that's occurring now is on the internet. It is the cyber type bullying.
First and foremost, cyberbullying is a serious offense. It is a serious offense. No one's anonymous anymore. No one.
You're always going to leave an electronic fingerprint that we can track. Even if a person purchases a disposable phone, they can be tracked as well.
As long as evidence is being saved, the bully, the cyber bully, can be located. We can do that. Folks go to jail for this. We want to keep you safe because if you were caught, and you will be caught,
Even if they delete the data from their computer, we can recover it.
you will spend time in jail. You can be charged, and that is something that kids don't understand. You could be charged with harassment. You could be charged with stalking.
Through the cooperation of Facebook, we've been pretty successful tracking those individuals down.
You don't want to walk into high school or college with a probation officer. You really don't.
Bullying is not
Conflict.
Conflict is not getting along. And it's not on purpose.
A conflict is different. All individuals will have conflict from time to time, and it means that they have differences of opinion or differences of approach, and they have to work through that. It's different from bullying because the whole intent of bullying is to harm.
A lot of times it gets confused because it seems like bullying is happening to lots of people. Mistreatment and conflict is happening to lots of people, but bullying is a form of violence. And so we have to think about how that violent act is different than just regular conflict.
We'll have a parent come in and say, my child's being bullied. Well, when we do the investigation, we find out that it was a lot of back and forth. This kid was mean, and then I was mean back. So it's not really bullying, it's poor relationships.
A bully is someone acting aggressively on purpose.
More than one time.
Bullying is the behavior.
It's all about the mainframe that you living in. It's no game, but yes it is.
He went off in the morning, excited the first day of school, and he came home just miserable.
I'm the new kid. I'll try and make some more friends, and it was not what I thought at all. There was a lot of name-calling and physical acts of violence.
One of his teachers called me. She said, you need to know what's going on here. Drew doesn't want to tattle, and he doesn't want to be seen as a snitch.
I don't want my mom a lot of times to help me because they'll make fun of me and say, why don't you fight your own fights?
The parents will come and tell us, and the kids are embarrassed. I think they're relieved to some extent, but they're embarrassed too that their parents had to come and tell for them.
I'm fine with parents approaching me at any time, and we'll investigate. We're going to take everything seriously. We're going to interview students. We're going to talk to them. We don't take anything lightly.
When we get a bullying report, we deal with it immediately. It's probably been going on for a long time. We call the kid in. We never have the bully and the victim in the same room at the same time. Sometimes parents will say, well, why don't you get them together? Well, it's an unequal power situation, so we want to make sure we avoid that. But we deal with it immediately.
I don't think it can be just up to teachers or school administrators. I don't think it can be just up to parents. I think all of us need to work together to empower kids to make this culturally unacceptable and to promote change.
The bystander is everyone who sees it.
Most of us are bystanders.
The people around me encouraged it quite a lot.
I felt like I needed to be accepted by my friends.
Our new program is called Stand Up for Kindness. And what it's about is bystander to upstander. We're asking students to go from bystander to upstanders. It might be something as simple as, we don't treat each other like that at this school. But what we teach is shorter answers are better. You say it in a polite, firm manner, and then you're done. And actually, one of the things that research is saying is almost 60% of the time, when somebody has the courage to be an upstander, the bullying actually stops in 10 seconds.
I said bullying's all about power. Well, who has the most power in the situation? It's not the person who's acting aggressively. It's the 85% who are watching. And when they feel empowered to take action and to change whatever that behavior is, when they take control of the climate, things really do change.
What can we do?
No name calling, including calling people bullies.
Use someone acting aggressively.
Bullying is a behavior.
What do we do about it?
Distract.
Distract the aggressor.
You say, hey, Miss So-and-so's coming down the hall, or hey, let's go over here, they're selling pizza at lunch. Whatever, just stop the behavior.
Support.
Support the target.
Support the target.
If someone knocks down your books, then the person might go over there and help them. If someone's left out at recess or isolated at lunch, maybe you go and sit by them. If someone's walking alone home after school and you hear some people calling them names, maybe you walk up next to them and say, hey.
Balance. Put up a put down.
Maybe you say something positive about them.
Report.
Tell someone.
You should tell an adult when something is something you cannot handle. There's going to be physical violence, there's a threat against campus. You know, there's things that young people can't handle, and nor should they handle.
If the kids stood up and said, enough's enough, I think that would be even more powerful than an adult doing that positive peer pressure.
I have never had anyone stand up for me. No one. No one has ever come in between me and a bully or someone being mean and said, that's my friend, or you shouldn't be doing this. I just think if someone would stand up for the person that's being bullied, it would make all the difference in the world. It would say, maybe you do mean something. There is something special about you. And not just a teacher, a friend, a peer. Stand up for each other.
All of us a step to never could imagine what one person could do. Yes, we are believing, we all try to understand things that we're looking at. Our own eyes are the things that we believe if we were paying attention to what just happened like a minute ago. We try to push and pull and we strive to move, and then we walk away and forget to say that this anthem means that We are all united underneath this banner of humanity. It's not you and me, it's just us and them and all of us pushing for the same reason that we getting farther. It's okay if we all get wounded in the struggle, but the problem is that we are causing all the trouble. Now come on, put up the sky. You don't tell no lie, no, no lie. He said that he gon' put up the sky, put up the sky. Tell no lie, don't tell no lie. Yeah, we all back in the saddle like some fools, riding around like cowboys and Indians. It's really funny when we're asking for the money that we've already been paid just for being citizens. It's like more rights for them, more fights for us. To stop responsibility that's falling apart. We all losing all the footing that we had, because we all know that when we grow up, we just want to be bad, not cool. We play the fool when we have the time to pay attention to our kids. Now we got these rhymes that make more sense to us than the money in the wallet that we spent 8 hours trying to work for. It's no Doris, in store it's a new sale, it's another day to bail out on the people that we thought that we were not. It's just another price tag, put that back into the bag. If you need another hamburger or another french fry, another freaking frozen drink, because that stops us all from thinking about the things that really matter. Now we're watching ourselves. It's like obesity is not just another unit, it's a way of life. Look at your wife and your kids and your car and your dog. It's not far for you to see that I'm not really trying to lie about macho man. Size is really us. You can't believe that it happened to you. You woke up one day and you found out that it wouldn't let you have space. It was all about, it's like air we breathe, it's like songs we see, it's those lives we want, it's those things we find we can't be any more useful than we really were when we were just babies. It's a world full of toys and boys and girls are wondering why their parents grow up to act like people who die when they see that flag is waving over their head, and then we all just pack it up and head back to bed. We all looking for another kind of place, another kind of certainty to push us thing out. It's like cancer that's spreading, and it's all about the mainframe that you living in. It's no game, but yes it is. Here's your clue. It's XY combo punch. It's your lunch. It's another day. If you're drunk on the television that you've been watching, you need to pay attention. I don't know what's stopping us all. I don't know what's stopping us all. I don't know what's stopping us all. Tell no lie, no. He said that he gon' put up the sky. He don't tell no lie. He don't tell no lie, no. He said that he gon' put up the sky. He don't tell no lie. He don't tell no lie, no. He said that he gon'